A rally is held in Joplin for Daunte Wright, who was shot and killed by Minneapolis police. A local group says they have received the results of an external policy review of the Joplin Police Department. The world's COVID-19 death toll reaches a staggering new milestone today.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
People from across the area came to Joplin to rally and bring awareness to the death of Daunte Wright. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. Wright was a 20-year-old from Minnesota who was fatally shot by a police officer during a traffic stop. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with 4 state residents on the impact his death has had on the local community and how the community can have more transparency with its own police.
Protests have emerged across the country to honor Daunte Wright, who was fatally shot by a police officer during a traffic stop on April 11th. In Joplin, a rally was held at 7th and Rangeline. Organizers say it was made to highlight injustices between police and communities of color. The rally was also to bring awareness to Joplin.
We want Joplin to pay attention to what's happening nationally and focus on what can we do locally to make our law enforcement better.
An organizer of the event, Dola Flake, says the event was intended to educate and bring awareness, to ensure transparency between Joplin police and its residents.
We are able to educate our community, bring awareness to the issues that are happening. We are able to begin holding our local law enforcement accountable, but letting them know that we support good policing, and we just want to make sure that that's what we have in our community.
She said bringing awareness to this issue can help Joplin grow as a community.
There are many reasons that we should care about what we're doing out here today with this rally. As a community, diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts will grow our community. It will help us to thrive, recruit, and retain diverse talent, which is the goal of both the Chamber and other organizations in our community.
Sarah Fawcett, a Pittsburgh resident, came out to Joplin to show that even though Daunte Wright wasn't from here, his death still has an impact on the community.
I think it's important to show that even though he wasn't from here, that it impacted us as well. I think any time that a life is lost, especially like that unnecessarily, it impacts all of us. Even though it is far away, we are all here. It is still an American issue.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Now, before taking the 7th and Rangeline, organizers and participants took a moment of silence to remember Wright. Last year, Joplin for Justice announced a petition asking the Joplin Police Department for details on past shootings, use of force reports, and hiring practices. Now, at the Joplin for Justice rally tonight came the announcement that an independent organization had conducted an external review of the current policies and procedures of the Joplin Police Department.
A policy analysis was completed by 8 Can't Wait, which is an organization that across the nation is evaluating policies and giving a score based on what they find within police departments.
According to its website, 8 Can't Wait is a campaign to bring immediate change to police departments. Now, the website highlights use of force numbers and policies from across the country. As of this newscast, Joplin specifically wasn't on their website. However, Flake says the report from 8 Can't Wait will be available on the Joplin for Justice Facebook page, which it is now. And back to Joplin specifically, according to Flake, the report showed Joplin's policy score was a 12.5 out of a possible 110. Flake says part of the reason for the low score is policies that are out of date.
So we know that we have policies that leave people vulnerable to being mistreated and exposure to excessive force.
Now, Flake says she knows of some policies that aren't up to par in the department.
There are specific policies that come to mind. For example, really lax policies related to sedation if you need to arrest somebody. We also have lack of policies that require a verbal announcement before using deadly force. So some really concerning policies.
And we reached out to the Joplin Police Department about this report. We got this statement in response today saying, quote, administration officials with JPD have met with Joplin for Justice members in the past in response to a petition, but to date have not been apprised of a study for findings by their organization. 30 to 4 state weather. It was a not so pleasant day, a little bit nutty outside, but Nick Kelly joining us on what could be a somewhat nutty forecast.
Yeah, but at least we got a break in the action, Chris, after dealing with a wet start to the weekend yesterday. Yeah, granted, 0.06 of an inch of rain at Joplin Regional, but less in the way of rain, and some peaks of the sun helped us out with temperatures. We started around 44 this morning at Joplin Regional and topped out at 53 this afternoon, even though it's a far cry from the average of 71. Not seeing a whole lot of action on the radar network right now, but still keeping an eye on maybe just a random shower or two, trying to hold together as it skirts away from the I-70 corridor, all because we're on the backside of the storm system that gave us the cloudy, dreary, chilly, wet Friday, but not a whole lot of moisture for this to work with. So for now, we're seeing temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 40s. And if I could quickly show you the planner for the day ahead of us, again, the backside of the system still around during the overnight into tomorrow morning. That could bring a few showers our way, but any slight rain chances we have tomorrow, Chris, will move on out and push highs to about 58. I think we're looking good for Monday. Then it doesn't look so nice for Tuesday with rain and, I hate to say it, snow chances. We'll break down what to expect for the week ahead here in a bit, Chris.
Not looking forward to it, but looking forward to your information. Nick,
I'm not either, but we'll break it down later.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, a local farm is offering tours of its facilities to local residents. Well, I guess when we say facilities, we really mean assets. There they are. As the tours showcase the alpacas at the Magayupa Mine Alpacas farm in East Joplin. Now, kids and adults alike had an opportunity today to learn about what it takes to take care of the alpacas and interact with them. There were also fleece samples available and products made from fleece, and most importantly, an opportunity to take selfies with the alpacas.
Oh, we enjoy it. We like to watch the kids interact with the alpacas. They seem to enjoy it. Well, it's been fun. It's been a lot of work keeping up with stuff, keeping up with all the alpacas. We had shearing yesterday, which in the rain, which was quite an ordeal, but it got done.
Guests were asked to practice social distancing along with the tours, which lasted about 45 minutes. The Better Business Bureau is warning against a scam involving sheds. Stephanie Garland with the BBB says a Carthage woman was scammed out of $99 in an online purchase scam. The woman purchased the shed for what she thought was a great deal on the shed, but it never arrived.
But there's more people than ever online, and scammers are taking advantage of that. Better Business Bureau knows that about 30% of these scams that people fell for last year was online purchase scam. So this is a serious issue, and this is something that we want people to watch out for.
Garland says it's important to always do research on websites before you make a purchase. The world's COVID-19 death toll reached a staggering new milestone today. More than 3 million lives now taken by the virus. For context, that's more than the population of Houston. CBS's Tom Hansen has more from New York.
Tonight, cases on the rise, with several states across the country battling new infections. The CDC blames dangerous variants and relaxed restrictions, including ending mask mandates, for the increase in cases.
All roads to defeating the pandemic go through the path of successfully and quickly vaccinating the country.
It's a race for shots, with nearly a third of American adults now fully vaccinated. 50% have received at least one dose.
We're trying to get it as soon as possible. Like I said, we want this to end as soon as possible.
But with the variants infecting young Americans and more than 37,000 people hospitalized nationwide, experts warn the U.S. strategy to out-vaccinate a mutating virus could derail progress.
Numbers are higher than they've ever been before.
In Canada, officials are sounding the alarm. Infection rates now outpace those in the U.S. and threaten to overrun hospitals. It's worst in the provinces of Alberta and Ontario, where police now have new powers to curb the spread.
This wave is different from previous waves, in part because the variants of concern are more communicable and more serious.
And some better news here in New York. Hospitalizations in the state have dropped to their lowest point since December. And New York City's Mayor Bill de Blasio says 5 million New Yorkers should be vaccinated by June. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Electronics warfare technician, Senior Chief Petty Officer Roy Cash II served with the Navy from 1971 to 77 and was recalled in 1991 for Desert Storm and then again from 2001 to 2002 for the War on Terrorism. He received several awards during his years of service, his hometown, Neodesha. We are proud to recognize Roy Cash II, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, you can find out about other heroes or nominate one of your own at our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. And that is a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, a vigil is held in Indianapolis for those who lost their lives in the shooting at the Fedex facility. Plus, investigators in Colorado trying to determine the cause of a deadly trench collapse. Vigils were held this evening in Indianapolis for the 8 victims gunned down in a mass shooting at a FedEx facility. The suspect is a former employee who last worked for the company in 2020. So far, investigators are not saying if he knew any of his victims. CBS News correspondent Nikki Batiste reports from Indianapolis.
Mourners gathered in Indianapolis Saturday evening to remember the victims of the Fedex Rampage. Komal Chauhan lost her 66-year-old grandmother, and today she was supposed to celebrate her engagement.
Just anything. I don't know. I just feel so empty. I feel like this is supposed to be one of the biggest days of my life.
Police say 8 people from age 19 to 74 were gunned down by former FedEx worker Brandon Hull. A year ago, the teen's own mother had reported him to local police, saying he might try to die by suicide by cop. Authorities say Hull was put on a mental health detention, interviewed by the FBI, and a shotgun was taken from his home. On Saturday, Hull's family issued a statement offering, quote, sincerest and most heartfelt apologies to the victims and saying, we are devastated at the loss of life caused as a result of Brandon's actions. Through the love of his family, we tried to get him the help he needed. Thursday night, police say the suspect began firing in the parking lot where he gunned down 4 people.
There was no confrontation with anyone that was there. There was no disturbance. There was no argument. He just appeared to randomly start shooting.
Authorities say he then entered the facility and killed 4 more before turning the gun on himself. 74-year-old John Weisert's wife showed us his photo just before learning he died in the massacre.
He does his job starting at 5:30. So that was it. I just said goodbye, have a good evening. Said that to him a couple times, and he was gone.
The couple was married nearly 50 years. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, Indianapolis.
While investigators search for clues and evidence, Hull's motives remain unclear. In Colorado, investigators are trying to determine what caused a deadly trench collapse. It happened Friday afternoon at about 3:45 at a site near Johnstown. Copter 4 was over the area this morning from our affiliate there. Yesterday, Loveland Fire Rescue Authority responded to the scene. Firefighters say 3 other men tried to save the worker who was underwater. Around 11 last night, crews removed the worker's body. His name has not yet been released. It was a pretty chilly and bleak day today. Are there changes on the way? Kelly has that answer when we come back.
We kept with partly to mostly cloudy skies today and a little bit of rain this morning, sure, but the rest of the day, after we got past a few showers this morning from indigo sky, showing how everybody looked throughout the day. Partly to mostly cloudy. It was nice to see some sun to get highs back into at least the lower to middle 50s this afternoon, but we're still dealing with moisture on the backside of our storm system in the upper levels. That's still rotating through the Great Lakes and the eastern parts of the Midwest. So around here, that means we're still under partly to mostly cloudy skies. And throughout the evening, I have been keeping an eye on just a few showers that I've been trying to hold together as I venture south of the I-70 corridor across eastern Kansas and western Missouri. Thankfully, they're having a hard time holding together, so as we can see, maybe a stray shower west of, let's say, west of Fort Scott, north and west of Fort Scott, and a shower just south of Howard. So we're just going to hold on to a slight chance for a random shower or 2 as we continue with partly to mostly cloudy skies outside that we're seeing in Joplin. Keeping temperatures cool at 44, a west breeze at 3 miles per hour. Everyone, though, we cooled off quite a bit. We are sitting now in the mid-40s overall, maybe a few upper 40s in our far northern counties still. Everyone, though, will start cool in the morning. Those overnight lows drop back to about 42. Thankfully, though, with a little more sun tomorrow, we should bounce back into the upper 50s for highs. So at least we're going to do a lot better with temperatures again as we wrap up the weekend tomorrow and finally see a change in our weather setup. So let's break down the surface setup here. We have high pressure in southeast Colorado. That's going to continue with a west and a northwest breeze as we go throughout the day tomorrow. However, note the cold front in northern, make that southern parts of Canada. That's the next front that really wants to shake things up by Tuesday. In the meantime, we're still trying to get the backside of our last storm system, the upper levels, working away from Chicago before we see that northern low up in Canada bring that next cold front our way. So, with that said, the storm system off to our east still wants to keep us partly to mostly cloudy overnight, with again, maybe a stray shower or two. Otherwise, any slight rain chances we have in the morning will be gone, thankfully, by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. And with the partly sunny skies returning, that will help us out with temperatures. 42 in the morning, 55 by noon, afternoon highs around 58. Thankfully, we're mostly clear. Sunday night, going into Monday morning, lows around 40 and soaring into the upper 60s to near 70 on Monday. That, however, is ahead of our cold front, and as that plows through and moisture piling in right behind it, we'll have to watch for rain and snow chances. We could see light snow accumulations possibly by Tuesday, and if I get a better idea by the time the blog goes up on KOAMNewsNow.com, you'll see my thoughts as we go into the next few days. 58 tomorrow, 68 on Monday, 41 on Tuesday, maybe a light freeze Wednesday morning with lows near 30. Thankfully, though, we're back in the mid-50s through Thursday and eventually back near 60, even though rain chances want to hold on throughout the week, Chris.
Not the greatest forecast, but, it sounds about right for this area this time of year.
Pretty much.
Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, Independence and Garden City face off in a top 10 junior college matchup. Plus, Missouri Southern looking to overtake the second-place spot in the MIAA standings in the series against Northeastern State. Danny Terzer's got those highlights coming up.
Big conference matchup for Missouri Southern today. They host Northeastern State. The Riverhawks are in second place in the MIAA, with the Lions right on their tail. The three-game series kicks off with a doubleheader. In Game 1, Matt Miller with a nice bunt. Ryan Hunter rounding the bases. Miller is safe. Hunter going for home. Beats the tag. Lions up 1-0. Later, Tommy Stevenson up the third baseline, good for a double and an RBI. Troy Gagnon scores. After 5, Missouri Southern leads 4-0. Zach Parrish keeping the momentum going. 3 up, 3 down. He finishes with 13 strikeouts, giving up just 2 hits and no runs through 7 innings. Lions finish it off. They shut out Northeastern State 5-0. In Game 2, Missouri Southern is kept off the board through 8 innings. They face a 3-0 deficit in the bottom of the 9th. Then Clay Milas hits a 2-run home run to pull it within 1, but the Riverhawks squeak out the win 3-2. Pitt State also at home this weekend against Newman. In Game 1 of a doubleheader, PSU tops Newman 13-3. Grayson Pinkett goes 3 for 4 at the plate, driving in 4 runs for the Gorillas. Game 2, Caleb Carr gets a grand slam. This one goes the other way though. Newman pulls out the 12-8 win. At the high school level, Pittsburgh travels to Joplin. The Eagles are 11-4 through 15 games. The Purple Dragons are not quite as far along in their season. Pittsburgh sits at 4-3, looking to add another to the win column today. Top of the second here, Blaine Dunstan to left center. He'll advance all the way to third. Then Cole Jamison gets it through. Dunstan scores. Pittsburgh leads 1-0. Next inning, Purple Dragons again. Tyler Sutton, deep shot to the back fence. That's a double. Braden Benson with the grounder. The throw goes to first, and Sutton comes home. This one stays low scoring. Pittsburgh comes out on top 3-1. Tonight in football, we've got a top 10 junior college matchup featuring Garden City and Independence. Both these teams are undefeated, but of course only one will remain perfect. Independence is coming off an 84-0 shutout last weekend. End of the first, the pass to Denzel Alenye over the middle. He takes a big hit and keeps going. Same possession. The handoff to Tavion Thomas, down the sideline and into the end zone. Indy leads 7-0 early in the second. Indy's defense shining. The big stop on third by Kuma Scanlon forces the Garden City punt. Late in the second, Pirates in scoring position. It's picked off by Keelan Kennedy, but Pirates lead by 7 at half. A big fourth quarter by Garden City, though, helps hand Indy their first loss, 14-10. NEO returning home to face Tyler today. The Norsemen are still on the hunt for their first win of the season. Starting in the first, opening kickoff. It's picked up by NEO, but the ball gets jarred loose. Jeremiah Cooley has it. Tyler turns it into 3 points. Next Norseman possession, Billy Maples rolls out, drops the pass into the end zone. It's picked off by Justice Clemens. No points will come of that, though. To the second, Tyler deep in their own territory. Devin Hembry is there for the interception. He takes it to the end zone for the pick six. Norsemen have the lead. Later in the quarter, Maples drops back, airs it out to Elijah Smoot. He gets up for the big pass. Norsemen take a 7-point lead into the half. Tyler comes back to win it 24-17. That's it for sports. We'll be right back with more news.
Nick Kelly joining us for final check of that forecast.
Just a few showers to dodge tonight and tomorrow morning, Chris. Thankfully warmer tomorrow with highs near 58, 68 Monday. Still watching rain and snow chances. We'll have that covered on the blog at KOAMNewsNow.com.
All right, Nick, thank you. And that's our time for now. Our next news time is at 9 tomorrow night on Fox 14. Of course, we'll see you back here at 10 on KOAM. And don't forget, KOAM News is always on at KOAMNewsNow.com and in the palm of your hand with the KOAM News Now app. Thanks for making us part of your night.